and welcome back to the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast. Not the normal podcast.
The best podcast.
The best podcast, the hit edition, the pro shop edition. It's me, Guy Charnock, your resident chopper. And next to me, Big Tall Ben, your resident, what's worse than a chopper?
Hacker? Oh, chopper's bad, isn't it, though?
I think a chopper is someone that's a bit sloppy around the golf course, whereas a hacker is really bad.
Yeah.
So that fits.
Yeah, I'll take hacker. Well, what a beautiful Wednesday today is for us and for Friday for the people listening.
Yeah, so we're recording this early because I am away filming tomorrow, which is Thursday. So yesterday, when people listened to this, it was a bit confusing, a video with Golf Bidder, your friend and mine, which fits nicely into the fact it's a hit podcast. I think I touched on it briefly, a bit secretively the other week in the podcast. I think I did. It's me and Rick with a budget each of £750 sterling versus Jimmy Bullard and Ange from Golf Life. 9 holes, battle to the death.
How do you feel about? I feel like it's been a while for you since you've been chucked in the deep end. Not alone. I can't even speak. Let alone a sort of like a Break 75 special where you're just like a match, a 2v2 match. How does it feel?
I'm excited, but I know I say this a lot, and you know this. I don't play a lot of golf, genuinely. Right. I hit balls, obviously, in the studio occasionally and do some filming in the studio, but I don't actually play a lot. However, I genuinely am really excited. The caveat to that excitement, though, is although I'm not a great player, newsflash, I'm not a great player.
You are.
I've played for so long that I feel like I'm someone that is very accustomed to the golf clubs that I've got, and I like what I like, and I know what I know. And like even little things like, for example, Rick, until recently, would have any random grip on his golf club. So he'd have a set of irons with one grip on, a wedge with another grip on, a drive with a different grip on. I can't do that. I like to have the same grip on all my clubs. Caveat, apart from a mini driver. But other than that, they've all got the same grip. And doing a second-hand challenge with different clubs, obviously the club's going to feel different, of course they are, but things like the shafts, the grip's going to be different. So it's not that I'm getting excuses in. It's genuinely not. It's the fact that I'm a kind of nervous, excited to play golf with the clubs. The clubs I've chosen, I'm not going to spoil it now. I'll talk about it more in depth once the video's gone live. I'm quite happy with them. I've not maybe been the best decisions at the top end of the bag. I've probably spent a bit too much of the budget on the driver. When it's a 9-hole match, I'm not the best driver of a golf ball, so maybe driver should have taken a bit of a backseat.
Big news this week. Loads of big news.
Lots of big news.
I don't even know which bit of big news I want to start with. It's too much big news. I think
medium, not the biggest of big, but the next level down of big.
Okay. Because I don't... Obviously, last night, Tiger Woods played golf again.
Yeah, well, 2 days ago now.
2 days ago.
3 days ago, whatever it was.
Last night for us. So that almost feels exciting to talk about.
Because it does.
But we don't want to eat the main course just yet. Okay. So I'm going to bring you in with my delicious entree, I would call it.
Yes.
Something we've been talking about a little bit. Obviously, we can't go through our predictions really. Well, we can because Rick's not here, but I can spoil his prediction. New Titleist drivers. I know you mentioned you went through them briefly.
A little bit in the main podcast, but this is a platform for golf equipment, so let's talk.
Talk to me firstly about your initial thoughts on looks. How do you feel about it? Is it let you down? Has it got you a bit giddy? Because I'm feeling
erotic.
I was saying to
aroused.
I was saying to you just at lunch almost that how do you make that driver look better? It is almost, it's weirdly not the perfect driver, but it's great. Even if you're not a Titleist fanboy, it's absolutely fantastic to look at. The performance from that everyone has mentioned has been fantastic. It's going to be tough to beat. So I get why they've gone for the same name and a similar look, but you almost have to like tweak it enough to change it, but you also don't want to stray too far from the original design. So I can imagine it's such a tricky spot for Titleist, but I don't know. I don't love it.
You don't like it? Well,
I like the name.
I think it's a tough one, isn't it? Because we did touch on it briefly in the last podcast, but obviously people listening, I'm sure you've seen it already. If you've not, Titleist have now announced their new GTS line of drivers that won't be out, I don't think, until May time. We're going down in April to see them, but they're now going to be on tour. So some of the tour players this week will be playing them
At the Texas Children's Houston Open.
Correct. And they might even get a win with them. That'd be great for them to get a win in the first week. So we'll start to see it. And So far, there's been 3 models announced: 2, 3, and 4. So 2 is typically always the most forgiving, the kind of big, more forgiving looking one that I would probably navigate towards. The 3 is your kind of low spin, and then your 4 is your super low spin that's sold in a much, much smaller quantity. And they'll probably do a 1 as well, which is the higher launch, very light head, forgiving model. So I wouldn't be surprised if that comes later down the line. We thought they'd be called something similar. The GT line has been so well received, won so many events. Last week, obviously, with Matt Fitzpatrick winning with it, they had a 1, 2, 3 finish, which is unbelievable for a driver. So they weren't ever going to tweak it too much, were they? Let's be honest. However, you're right. When we see it now, it just looks, so Titleist and so, I don't want to say underwhelming, but just not different. Whereas some brands each year bring out drivers that look drastically different. And it probably gets you more excited to go and try it because you think it looks different to last year's, or the names change. So TaylorMade are a great one. They've gone from like the M series into the Sim to Stealth to QI. Now, although they sometimes have little jumps in those franchises, might go from like QI 10, QI 35, QI 4D, but then probably next year it might be something totally different. And you think, oh, I want to see that. I want to try it because it's different. I perceive it with Titleist a bit differently, though. I think with Titleist, you could say, it looks the same as last year, it's boring, or last 2 years ago. But really, for me, it's more of a case of I don't feel like, maybe naively, Titleist would bring out gear if it's no better. Because it's not a brand, they're not that kind of brand. So although it looks very similar, in some ways that almost intrigues me more. Cause it's like, well, how is it different then? It looks very similar. Is it going to be different? It probably will be a little bit, but how much? I don't know.
We obviously don't know any like tech stuff about it yet. We've just seen the looks. We know it's in play this week, so it'd be interesting to see like what sort of pros, their feedback they give on the driver. But yeah, look, I'm happy they went with GTS. I think it's a good name. Yeah, I think I would really love it if it just didn't have that silver outline around the rear weighting. If it didn't have that, I think I'd be all in. I kind of like how they've put the line down the middle of it, and it's sort of like a little box around the text. I like that, but yeah, I want to keep an eye on.
There's a bit of a trend, though, of this week's podcast, in a sense of, obviously, there's a thread through this. It's always going to be golf equipment to a degree. However, there's been a few emails about people replacing golf equipment, which I will come on to a bit later on. But first of all, I'm going to ask you a question here. It's not a quiz as such, it's one single question.
Sure.
What happened on September the 20th, 2013? The chances of you getting this now, I would say, are 1,000 to 1. It's not even golf. It's nothing to do with golf.
Nothing to do with
date.
golf.
No. What happens in September every year? Harry will know this now, giving him that behind the camera. September every year this happens.
Non-golf related.
Might be that October. Normally it's always September.
Starts getting cold.
No. Well, yes, but no. Go on, Harry. Do you know, have your mic on?
I've no idea.
Harry, come on. You're talking to me here. September every year this happens.
September every year.
I'm so upset Harry's not got it. I'm so upset Harry's not got it.
It's not football related.
Harry, you've really let me down.
Wow.
September every year, Apple released an iPhone. Harry looks very upset behind the camera.
Sorry.
Yeah. And September the 20th, 2013, the iPhone 5S was launched. The first iPhone to have Touch ID.
Okay.
Now, some people listening to this podcast might still be using Touch ID. I think the last iPhone with Touch ID was either an iPhone SE or an iPhone 8 or something. A long time ago. We're all now Face IDers.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you throw yourself back to the September of 2013, how old would you have been, Ben? How old are you now? Is the first question. So 12 years ago, 12 and a half years ago.
28 at the moment.
At the moment. So you would have been 20. Sorry, you would have been. My maths is bad. You would have been like 16.
Yeah, 16.
Okay. Does that feel a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little boy. I used to sit there and think of golf as this old man's.
And now you are an old man.
Yeah. Looked down upon new sport, but
so that date is significant. The September of 2013, the iPhone 5S was launched. I had one. However, where I'm getting to this story, the following month, October 2013, something else was launched. That is golf equipment.
Wow. Must be big.
Ping S55 irons were launched.
Okay. Can't say I've heard of them before.
Okay. You've not heard of the S55?
Am I allowed to Google them and have a look?
You can. The reason
Ping.
they are taking precedent in today's podcast is, and it's
SS.
so old, so long ago, those are the irons that this weekend just gone were in the bag of Matt Fitzpatrick, who won the Valspar Championship. He was using irons that are nearly 13 years old, and he cruised to victory by a single shot with them in the bag. So his bag for this last week was the Ping Titleist GT3 driver. Said Titleist GT won this last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He then had a TaylorMade QI35 3-wood, a QI35 5-wood, a Ping I210 4-iron, but then Ping S55's 5 to 9 iron. Now, people listening at home, when you maybe have stopped the car if you're driving or got off the treadmill, whatever you're doing, if you go onto YouTube and search for Ping S55, you will see a review from a very fresh-faced and somewhat quite nervous and speaking without breathing almost and just getting his words out at 100 miles an hour, Rick Shiels, reviewing those irons in the October of 2013.
Wow.
And he looks very, very young, and obviously he's come a hell of a long way since then. However, the point of this was, we talk so much, don't we, about the latest and greatest gear, and I am the number one sucker for the latest and greatest gear. But once again, we have been proved to by one of the best players on the planet who is choosing to use golf clubs that are 13 years old.
Would you even say these, like, I don't know a whole lot about them. Were they, like, iconic back then? Were they...
No,
you know?
So basically back then, Ping would do typically like a few different sets of irons, the S, the I, and the G range. And then they had actually an answer set of irons, which was the first ever forged set of irons. But they were a good set. They were like a good player. They were maybe, I mean, it's probably hard to say, but you know, like a T-Series iron now, T100 or 150, they were a good set of irons, but obviously he's got them in the bag and absolutely loves them still. And he's got his rather quirky Bettinardi putter that's based off his old Yes putter that I actually used to own. I wish I still had that putter, but I don't. He had SM10 wedges. They're a little bit old, only a year or so old now. But Matt Fitzpatrick is one of what feels like a growing number of free agents, you know, golfers who are not sponsored to use equipment. He's got a ball deal with Titleist, but he uses whatever gear he wants. And you just think, like, it's weird, isn't it? We have this thought quite a lot, where in one sense, if you are an elite golfing professional and a brand offers money to use their gear, then you may as well take it because they can make your gear so bespoke now and they can tweak things and make your own version that you may as well do that and get the money. But then you think, actually, when these guys are coming down the 18th, you know, to win a tournament, they want to use gear that they absolutely trust and they want to be using. They want to be winning tournaments and getting their hands on silverware and arms into green jackets. In this case, he's using the clubs that he absolutely wants to be using.
Yeah. I got a lot of respect for, like, I'm just looking at a picture of them. Maybe we'll put them on screen, but I mean, wow. They look like they've got a lot of, like, thick perimeter weighting to them, don't they?
Yeah.
You know?
In the toe, that tungsten in the toe.
They feel like they look like they have a short blade length, but they're almost the thickness of an iron you'd expect a mid-handicap to almost be using, don't you? So,
but equally, they look timeless. I think if I should do those now and today were a new prototype, I think you'd believe they were out and out. They do look quite modern, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's using a set of golf clubs that are that old. And interestingly, we've had an email. Got to read this email out. It's yeah, okay. And we need you to talk some sense to this person. It says, "Hi, Ben and Guy. Put your name first, Ben.
Oh, that's nice.
You're making some
What's his name?
serious strides.
Are we...
His name is Roberto.
Roberto.
And
Shout out Roberto,
he's
my
coming
man.
from South Africa. So he's actually no coincidence. Well, it is a coincidence, sorry, that Rick was there last week. Now we're getting more emails from South Africa. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not. Who knows? Anyway, loving the Friday podcasts.
Good man.
Maybe he's not put the Tuesday ones, though. So I'm 25 years old from South Africa. I'm currently playing golf a 13 handicap. Okay. I've worked my way down to this level using a set of hand-me-down irons from my uncle. My set is a bit mixed. I have a set of Callaway X14 steelhead irons. By the way, they were amazing. They are, yeah, they would have been out around the early 2000s, and they were maybe early 2002, I'm going to say.
The steelhead ones.
Steelhead X14s.
Look at them.
They were honestly a really good set of irons. They said Steelhead Pro as well that were even better. But anyway, with graphite shafts. However, my 6 and 8 iron are even older Callaway S2H2 blades. He's attached some images. They're really old. The rest of my bag is made up of various second-hand clubs. Okay, so this all so far sounds quite a regular email. He's got a bit of a mismatch of clubs. He's asking for some advice. Nothing untoward here.
Those irons, the S2H2 irons.
How cool are they?
Wowee.
Also, you can tell the Callaway is even older than it is now. It's like an older...
Yeah.
Anyway, he then goes on to say, recently, I've had a bonus at work.
Good man.
Great.
Good work, Roberto.
However...
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for the next bit? I'm torn between putting this money towards a future house for my wife and me or finally investing in a set of golf clubs. So he's got a decision to make.
Big.
Either a modern second-hand set or possibly even a brand new fitted set. The problem is that new equipment and fittings are extremely expensive and often inflated here in South Africa. Given my situation, I'd love to hear your advice. Should I keep playing with my current mix set and save for a house? That's option 1. Option 2, is it worth investing in a modern second-hand set? Option 3, should I just bite the bullet, spend the money on a new fitted set and hope it helps my game? So, Ben, I feel like, first of all, Roberto, put your name first on the email. And secondly, the fact that it's golf clubs or buying a house with his wife, I don't want that responsibility. I think it comes down to you. And you have got Roberto's fate in your hands. There you go.
It sounds very much like a situation I've been in myself recently. So in the last few years, I know Roberto's pain. I can hear his missus in my ear saying, "Don't do it." So I've been there. My instinct is a little quarter job, quarter of the pot. Depending on the size of the bonus, towards, because you can still pick up. I'm not sure. Is it rand? Isn't it in South Africa? I believe currency. So. Surely you could pick up a decent set of second of a not. What are they called? S2H2. Are they? Oops. What was that? Something just like a gun
chair. I think
like a gunshot went off in the studio.
It's Roberto's wife.
I'm knocking out the door.
You're gone, Ben.
Are they his blades? He said he was blades, right?
No, they're not really a blade. They're a smallish cavity.
They're thin. I've seen a picture of a top line there. They're pretty thin.
They're very thin.
So we've got to get... And clearly, Roberto's got some ability. If he's playing with that set of irons already, he's got down to 13.
One thing just to add as well, I will not give away his employer. I'll tell it to you off the podcast. But he sent this from his work email. He has got a good job. So he looks like somebody who is... I don't know how big his bonus is going to be, but looks like someone who's very intelligent. So the fact that he's asking this question, asking us on a podcast, should he invest in a house or golf clubs, makes it even funnier.
Yeah. What? Even like, I was going to say Tacoma, because even at that price, like, can you get direct to consumer? Yeah, sure, you can get them to South Africa. Like, that could be an option, but again, they're brand new. I think, Roberto, hear me out. Houses are not forever. Golf clubs are.
This is not financial advice.
No, definitely not. Treat yourself. I'm going to say, look, the house will come eventually, but sounds like he's a hustler, grinding off those irons off a 13 handicap. What would I suggest? I'm going to say, even like, I was trying to think of a brand and a model that secondhand that you could suggest. You know, something that always came up to me, like those rocket blades.
Good irons.
You know, like just game improvement irons.
Good irons.
Well, like lots of them, so you can always get them for cheap. Something like a little Facebook Marketplace deal. I would just like, Facebook Marketplace, someone just trying to flog them cheap. Something that, if you can play with them, you can play with anything. And it sounds like, he's obviously not very fussy, is he? He sounds like the kind of bloke that if he saw a set of game improvement irons on there for like 300 rand or whatever, I think that's like 20 quid, I think.
Almost 200 grand at the first.
That he wouldn't be fussy, and he'd be like, that's a full set in my price range. Like game improvement irons, nobody probably needs them, but you know, in that mid to handicap range, just do it. Yeah, I'm team, not all of it on the irons to avoid a little ending up in the doghouse job, but I'd like to see a quarter, and depending on the size of the bonus, maybe even a little half.
It feels like there's quite a conflict because unless he's buying extremely expensive golf clubs or houses that are unbelievably cheap, if he gets clubs for 300 quid, surely that gives him still some money towards getting the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
But who knows?
And that's part of it. You can't. Again, this is not financial advice, but it depends how desperate you are. Like, you got to look after yourself a bit, don't you? Treat yourself. And, of course, a house is part of that, but, the day-to-day life.
Speaking of golf clubs that may or may not be expensive, we can't say too much on this. We've heard a few little rumblings, which we won't delve too much into. However, we are now around the month away, the 29th of April, from McLaren Golf launching officially. So, as I said, it's annoying when people say this on podcasts or YouTube videos. We have heard a couple of things. We can't say who from or what. But all I will say is I am probably more excited now about McLaren Golf than I was already.
Absolutely.
And part of what we predicted about them being a serious golf brand, feels like that's going to come. It's not going to be just a kind of...
Yeah, willy-nilly.
Yeah, sometimes these brands license out their name to, other manufacturers of equipment to just make a rubbishy deal, bag of clubs, whatever. This looks like it's going to be proper. So that is only 1 month away. I'm very excited to see them, hopefully get our hands on them, talk about them.
Or you technically have seen them because the person we spoke to raised them in the air for 0.2 of a second in a fast blur.
Exactly. So we're very excited about that. However, another email that's come in. Please do emails, by the way, podcast@rickshiels.com. Remember, it's R-I-C-K, Rick, can't get that wrong. But the Shiels, people get this wrong. It's S-H-I-E-L-S.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because people were asking. We obviously asked for people to email in last week, and people saying, "Oh, where do I send it to a different email for the
No,
Friday pod?"
Get it in here.
Same email.
Maybe put F-A-O for attention of Ben or Big Ben.
Yeah,
Big Bell
like
Ben.
Codename Big Ben or something like that. Yeah,
Big Ben the Bell.
Yeah,
because actually, did you know that
the
Big Ben, the tower isn't named after? That's not the tower. Big Ben is the bell in the tower.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. But is the bell big?
The bell is big. The big bell is big. Biggest bell.
Oh,
bell
is
is
it?
big.
The bell's big.
It's quite a big bell.
But why? Oh, so yeah.
So the tower's got an. Let's have
What's
a quick
the tower
look.
called?
Let's have a quick look. It's got
Is it
Big
like
Ben Tower name. No, so it's called the Elizabeth Tower.
Oh.
And it was renamed in 2012 after Queen Elizabeth's Diamond Jubilee. It was previously known as the Clock Tower, but Big Ben actually refers specifically to the 13.7-ton Great Bell inside the tower, not the structure itself.
I take great privilege being named after a big bell.
Well, there you go.
And how many people walk past going, "Oh, there's Big Ben,"
and it's not. You can't see Big Ben because Big Ben's the bell that's hidden. But when people see you, they can say, "There's Big Ben," and they are looking at the bell.
I get that often.
So that's quite good. Anyway, right, back to the next email from Matt, just titled... By the way, people that do email in, I like long emails, and I also like short to the point emails. So feel free, whatever you want to do. This one was quite short. Titled was just using Nike irons. It's what, "Hi guys, love the podcast." Great. I've just bought new, but not new Nike irons. So I think he means new to him, but not obviously new. They're the VR Pro Combo, which are a progressive set. Pitch and wedge and 8 up to 8 iron are blades. 7 iron to 5 iron are CB. And then even more forgiving from there. So I've had similar sets this before in my time. So it was actually a trend, probably, again, I don't know what year it would have been, mid-2000s, where these kind of combo sets were a thing. Obviously now you could build a combo set, but back then you wouldn't really buy individual irons, but you could buy these combo sets. And they said, "Is it stupid to be playing such an old set of clubs? Has technology changed that much? What are your guys' thoughts?" Well, I'm answering that question off the back of the Matt Fitzpatrick bit. So really... no, they're not going to be bad at all in terms of technology. However, because they are blades and shorter irons, not massive forgiving in the mid irons, it would very much be down to Matt's ability.
Yeah, definitely. And if only we could answer this question in a video. How much technology has changed?
Well, that we may.
Who knows?
There's a topic to this week's podcast, and obviously it's very much down to age of golf clubs. Before I come on to some more things about the age of golf clubs, we've had a lot of people on Facebook. I've asked some people what the oldest golf club is in the bag, so we'll get onto that. But I've had another email. So we've had lots of emails this week. This gentleman's name I can't pronounce. I'm going to try. No, I'm not.
No, come on, what's it?
It's T-J-A-R-C-O. So it's like Jarko with a T before it, for Jarko.
Points for effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, which just, last name?
It's from the Netherlands.
Oh, no, okay.
Well, I don't want to say his last name, but
fair enough.
he sounds like he could be a footballer.
Let's
He's got a Dutch name.
Let's call him T.
Big T-dog.
Yeah.
He says, hello, guys. Chiarco here. That's obviously wrong, but
T here.
T from the Netherlands. I love the show, brackets, both regular and the Hit Podcast. So again, a bit more love for the Hit Podcast, Ben. You asked for club dilemmas for the Hit Podcast, and I've been struggling with one recently. I've recently upgraded my driver from a Ping G15 to a Callaway Paradigm X.
Okay.
Nice.
Good upgrade.
I love it so far. Yeah, it is a good upgrade. I was discussing with mates on how to go with the other woods/long clubs between 5-iron and driver. I currently only have a 3 hybrid, so it goes 5-iron, 3 hybrid, driver. To me, it feels like 3 woods are really difficult to hit and only makes sense if you can reach a par 5 in 2 with it. For golfers of my level, 16 handicap, reaching a par 5 in 2 is very unlikely. I almost never play courses where I need to hit 3 wood to prevent going too far. So, for example, it's not like it's there many par 4s where hitting drive would put me in a creek or anything, so we should go 3 wood. That never happens. He hits his driver maximum about 250 yards. Mm-hmm. My conclusion so far is the only club that makes sense for me between driver and irons is a 3 hybrid. It always allows for distance from the fairway and it's more versatile. I use it for anything above 160 metres. Closer than that, I go 5-iron. I think this should apply to a lot of beginners/intermediate players. Are there gaps to my reasoning? Should I consider a 5 or 7 wood for some part of the game? So essentially, in a long and short of it, T is a big advocate of going driver 3 hybrid, 5-iron. Is he wrong? Is he right? Big Bell, Ben, it's your time to answer that. What do you think?
It's tough.
It is tough.
Because it's tough because I like 3 wood, and this is just going off me personally. So, but I struggle sometimes with the way I think about the lofts. Like I'm trying to think, would you go 7 wood? But is that the same loft of your 3 hybrid? And then I'm like, would you go 3 iron or driving iron? But that's also same loft as a as a hybrid. So, I don't know what do you.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because this is the thing with golf. There's no right or wrong. People often looking for and I get it, because if I'm ever like new to a sport, which I don't do a lot of, or looking at something on YouTube, I kind of want to know what's the right thing to do. I know it's annoying when people say this, but there isn't really a right or wrong. If he plays at a golf course that isn't the longest, then he might literally never hit 3 wood. And actually, for a lot of people, it would feel bizarre to maybe take your 3 wood out the bag. But actually, how often do you use it? So I don't know. But what I would say is maybe like a 5 wood.
I was going to say 5 wood, or can you get like a more like a 5 hybrid-y kind of thing? But
it depends. It feels almost like he doesn't really need one, but he's kind of asking the question. But for me, I'd probably say maybe don't have a 3 wood if you don't need it. The other option is, which I'm a huge advocate for, is the mini driver. I really love mini driver. And again, we need to do a video on this. It's not about the fact it's a mini driver. It's the fact it's a big fairway wood.
Yeah.
You have to just trust it, hit it off the floor, trust it. I do hit some bad shots with it, granted, but trust it, hit it, they're good.
It'd be interesting to know what his like issue with the 3 wood is. Is it like a lack of loft looking down at it? Is it the longer shafts, almost hitting like driver off the deck? Because if it is a loft issue, then you could easily look at 5, 7 wood kind of areas. Well, definitely 5 wood, because 7 wood gets closer to that hybrid loft. But yeah, maybe a 5 wood, a bit, because I'm almost the opposite when I don't love 5, 7 wood, because I feel like I can see all that loft, but people really love that, don't they? And maybe that's almost what he's looking for, because you get a little bit of from a hybrid, don't you? So maybe if you sort of like those characteristics from a hybrid, maybe something like a 5 wood is for you. Try a 5 wood.
Try a 5 wood and see how you get on. If you don't want one, save the money. It's that simple.
Yeah.
We have had lots and lots of people answer on the Facebook group. So again, the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast on Facebook. Simple questions, had a lot of response so far. It's been live for 38 minutes and we've had 54 comments already, so it's popping
really
up.
Good.
Simple question, what's the oldest golf club in your bag? So,
what's the oldest club in your bag, firstly?
My oldest club in my bag,
I think I know
very
it.
old.
Spider?
Correct. The Spider from 2019.
I took the head cover off that thing the other day, and I've never seen a golf club do this, but it was crusty.
You know why it's so bad? And I kind of like it because the Spider I've got, the Spider X, Spider X, which is to celebrate 10 years of the Spider. It launched in 2019, and they sent Rick, I think, 2 to review. One was a blue one, and one was the copper one.
And it's not the Torex, which is like the current
No,
one that
much
Scotty
newer.
and stuff use. It's the older.
It's the older one. And I can't remember why. It's honestly been in the bag. I can't remember if I really tried it. I must have tried it one day when Rick had finished filming with it and quite liked it and put it in the bag. And it's been in there ever since. There's been a couple of spells where I've had a Scotty Cameron in for a couple of rounds, but it kind of got to the point where I matured a bit and thought, you know what, this putter on a good day works for me. Just stick with it. If I have a bad day putting, blame yourself. Just stick with this putter for as long as you can. The reason it's so battered is twofold. Firstly, we play in buggies semi-regularly. Mm-hmm. Whenever I do, I leave the head cover off it because I can't have every hole taking the head cover off. And inevitably, there's a few clanks and clatters. And secondly, the other reason is I like to chip the ball up with it. So it's like this, with a spider, it's not like a normal putter where you've got like an actual little bit of a ledge. You have to like kind of do some little scoopy maneuver. And I think inevitably over time that's just caused it to have a few little dinks and dents. But I like it. It gives it a bit of character. Yeah. Something about a putter being a bit battered that I quite like. It's loved. It's used. Speaking of putters that are loved and used, Rico Cooper has said he has got a 30-year-old Ping B60 putter that keeps finding its way back into the bags. The B60 literally looks like a letter B. So if you imagine a capital B, that's kind of how it looks, hence the name B60. Sean Taylor, the original Scotty Cameron Futura. Now, Ben, I don't know if you've ever seen the original Scotty Cameron Futura. Is
it the really ugly one?
So the original Scotty Cameron Futura, make sure if you Google it, look for original. It launched, again, about 2004, 2003, I think it would have been. It was so ugly.
Hell
2003 it was. And it was one of the first, if not the first I can think of, Scotty Cameron that went down this new route of modern spaceship-looking, forgiving putters. It's a very, very weird-looking thing. It was quite noisy.
Noisy.
But it was quite loud from what I remember. But it was the kind of putter where you kind of, if you had one and you liked it, I can imagine that you did really like it. It's so unique and so different.
It's crazy where the shaft enters the club halfway back like that.
Michael Conley has said the TaylorMade RBZ 3 wood really hit it, too inconsistent, looking to replace it with a 7 wood. However, the RBZ 3 woods were absolutely phenomenal.
They were white on top.
Yeah, they were 2013, I think, or 2011, and it was the RBZ Stage 2 that followed it. But they were great, and that's the kind of club I feel like once you've got one, if you've had a 3 wood that you like, you maybe won't swap it. James Wright has said, he's got a picture in here, Cobra Baffler Blade irons from 1993 to pitching wedge. He's got new Golf Pride mid-size grips on them. I'm loving reading this. I suggest you believe if you're not a member of the group, join the group to have a little scroll through some of the people's, what they've got, because...
Someone said once gamed a Hickory Club from the 1920s. Massive spade, supposedly like a 7-iron, but played like a pitching wedge.
That's insane. Who was that?
That was Johnny Whitty.
Johnny Whitty. Daniel James, I've got a 2-ball putter from either the first or second year they came out around 2002. And after that, I've got a TaylorMade Burner Superfast 3 and 5 wood around 2010. It feels like putters as another one. You can putters and 3 woods.
Oh, the Ping Doc's in there. Was that
Ping
the one
Doc
from the
17?
Is that from the quiz the other day? The Doc, look at the size of it. Oh, how good.
Ken Ginger has said an iconic name for a club, the Callaway Big Bertha Blade putter.
Oh, yeah.
It looks awesome.
Wow.
From 1995.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, love Paul Holly's put a wedge that looks like he's used as an electric fence or something for years, like this absolute state of it. Looks like he's found it at the bottom of a lake. Still using that. I don't think he's getting a whole lot of spin off that, surely.
Do you think there will be any clubs in your bag right now that will remain for a long time?
Mine is almost embarrassing to call old.
What is it?
Some of my clubs.
Yeah, because you're a new golfer.
Yeah.
But do you think there's any that in 10 years' time would still be in there? Anything that you think's got potential to be like that?
Yeah. I feel like putter. If it's got to be a putter. I bought in South Korea my first Scotty when we went.
Nice.
We went to a used golf shop, got a Scotty Cameron Phantom. I think it is. Phantom? Oh, no, it's a Futura, I think it is. Absolutely battered. Loads of character on it. Love the shape. And I was like, they were trying to sell it for I think the conversion was like £100. Wow. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. So I could see that maybe in and out of the bag, but something I'll have for 10 years and probably not sell. Definitely. Really cool to have that and to say I got it from South Korea. I love that. But genuinely, the oldest club in my bag right now is a Callaway Rogue 3 wood. And that's done a good job from when I started to stay. And
That's when you very first started, pretty much. Wow.
And I know it sounds like crazy because it's not been that long of a time, but I'm very much a gear tinkerer. As soon as I start having a bad week or something, I'm like, right, who's coming in? So the fact that 3 wood stayed there, big fan.
You know what? It's sometimes, and obviously so, swapping golf gear when you're not playing well gets a bad rep because obviously it's the user, it's the golfer, it's not the golf gear. Very often, obviously it could be, you're 6'6". If you had golf clubs that were custom fit for someone that's 5'2", you could blame the golf clubs. But as a rule, when we have golf clubs that are fitted for us or whatever, and then we start playing badly and we look for others, it's not the club's fault. However, I have always found, surely I'm not alone in this, that buying new golf clubs or getting new golf clubs ever inspires me to go and play more.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
if I want to play more, I typically then get more into my golf and might end up playing it better because I'm playing more. So it can be that kind of catalyst that actually does help you. Not so much that the actual club itself is better for you, but the kind of inspiration it gives you. And I think some golf clubs that you buy, they're not all about performance, are they? They're not just about buying it to improve your golf. They're about wanting it. I think Scotty Camerons are the perfect example. People that collect Scotty Camerons don't even use them, some people. Some people might, obviously. But I think that's what I like about clubs. And also what you'll start to but you'll start to appreciate more as you get into golf and more and play for longer and longer, is when I'm seeing people say golf clubs now, showing pictures of them. Sounds a bit deep, this, but it takes me back to a time of, for me, like, again, that 2003, 2006 era when I was like 13 to 16, where golf was my absolute life. Every day in the summer holidays, every chance to go and play golf. Kind of somewhat at the age where I couldn't obviously buy gear myself. So I had to really wait for a birthday to get a new club. I remember wanting obviously 2-ball for ages and just with 149 quid at the time. I just wanting one and eventually getting one, obviously 2-ball blade. And having a Scotty Cameron that got second hand and literally taking it to bed with me, or not sleeping with it, but having it in my bedroom, cleaning it all the time, just like sat on my bed watching telly, watching The Simpsons with a Scotty Cameron next to me, because it meant so much to me. And I think that's something that maybe you don't have as much as you get older, because I doubt in 10 years' time you'll take a Scotty Cameron to bed with you. In Korea, you might do, who knows. But I think that's something it's about taking you back to a time and remembering stuff coming out, and remembering the marketing around stuff, and that was going to be the next big thing, and then the golf club, like, getting a certain drive when it came out and going, he's got that new, whatever it might be, he's got an R7 quad. Oh my God, and you can take weights out of it and change it. And it was almost as well a bit like pre-internet era, where the internet was around, but not really to the same level. And you'd only really see clubs either in a magazine or in a golf shop. It was just kind of like, I don't know, I miss it.
No, I completely understand.
I do.
It's crazy that, like you said, how much it can inspire you. And we're so privileged to be in this situation where we have like access to so many golf clubs. But I bet for people like that have that itch, it must be so tough to scratch all the time. Like if you're having a bad round of putting, it's easy for us to go get our putter out the storeroom or whatever. But for other people, it can obviously be a bit tricky. But yeah, no, I absolutely understand. I almost I've been struggling with my putting recently. I feel like, putts under 5 foot, as soon as I have like a bad stroke, I feel like I almost like notice it straight away and just like forget about what I'm trying to do technique wise and go, oh geez, that's a bad backstroke. So I've started going into center shafted putters, and I've been using the Spider 5K, and it has like genuinely inside 5 foot. It's just automatic, like I could just focus on what I'm doing and the club just swings through, which is nice. But it got to the point where I was looking on the website, and you have to talk me out of this, for a new like just green lab putter, like a DF3, and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Stop.
It's what yeah, I know, but it's so hard. I was looking today at what brand was looking at?
Oh, you were looking at?
Oh, Callaway X, the X Forged irons. There's an X Forged and X Forged Max, and I was thinking, oh man, instead of Callaway X Forged. And then the other day I was thinking, what set of Mura irons? It's like I'm hardly playing golf as it is. And I've got the current T100 irons, which are amazing golf clubs, but I think there's something about it. It's like addictive. And the one thing I always think, and I've done this myself, so I'm kind of a bit of a hypocrite saying this, but I think you should always try, if you can, is to not sell a putter. So obviously if you have to, if you're obviously in financial situations or you want a new one, but you have to sell your old one to get the new one, then fair enough. But I've done it before where I've just sold an old putter and then really regretted it. And the one that's the most regretted, I think, of my life, I've had a few Scotty Camerons, whatever, but the main one is that Yes putter, the one that Matt Fitzpatrick's now got a clone of. That I sold that years and years and years ago. And I really wish I had that putter still, and I've not. So that's emotional. That makes me feel sad.
Yeah, it almost breaks my heart a little bit hearing that.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, hold on to your putters.
Before we wrap this, so how long have we got left, Harry? I know we're close to...
You got 10 minutes or so.
Okay, nice. Well, another video we filmed yesterday. So, sorry, I'm getting a date. It was yesterday to us, so that was Tuesday. So a couple of days ago, when I listened to this, we filmed the video, and we won't give the results away, but we had an idea, and Ben very kindly went out to the shop and bought these clubs for me. We had an idea about drivers and prices, because we know golf can be very expensive.
Yes.
However, I do get annoyed when people label golf as expensive as a rule, because it doesn't have to be. And I think some people listening to that will hate me saying that, because they think, yeah, it is expensive. Well, of course it is if you want to go and play at Turnberry and you want the Titleist GTS when it comes out with a Velocore, Fujicore, whatever shaft.
300 quid shaft.
Yeah, exactly. And you want the Sunday red golf shoes and you want all this other stuff and a fancy laser. But at its core, you can go to a municipal golf course with golf clubs that you got 20 years ago off your uncle that's the wrong 7-iron, etc. But how much difference does all that gear make? It obviously makes some difference. It must do. And I heard an example a few years ago on a podcast, nothing to do with golf, talking about, I can't remember the actual word for this, but like the price of things versus the actual improvement you get. So, for example, if you bought a set of headphones for £10 from a service station, they wouldn't be as good as obviously when you buy a set of headphones that are 50 quid. You'd notice a huge gain. And you go from 50 quid to £120 AirPods, there's probably a smaller gain. And you go from AirPods to £300 Bose, there's probably a smaller difference again, but still a difference. And you go from 300 quid to £1,000 professional headphones. There'll be difference, but to the average person, that difference is so small. But to get to that level, you have to pay so much more money. And it's kind of like with the golf clubs. It's like we know that you can go and play golf with clubs from Sports Direct. You can also go and buy Mura golf clubs. But where is that kind of almost cut-off point where performance dips and you just start paying for the brand name? So we filmed a video where I hit your kind of average-ish golfer, my Ping G440K driver, which costs how much, Ben?
$579.
Bang. Correct. Then, at a cheaper price point, but still brand new, still out of a wrapper, the Tour Edge 10K driver, I think it was called, something like that.
Yeah, the Exotics Max.
Yes, which was $379.
Yep.
So £200 cheaper. Then, this is where you helped me out. You went to American Golf and purchased a Wilson Deep Red driver for...
Deep Red Max.
Deep Red Max.
$129.
So an extra 150 quid less. Yep. 250 quid less, sorry. And then the cheapest chips, brand new, literally in a wrapper, Sports Direct Slazenger V Series driver. Icon for $24.99.
Unbelievable.
So we had these 4 drivers, hit golf shots with each of them, and then look through the data at the end to see what's the difference, how much distance is there with the new one, with the expensive one versus the cheap one, how much more forgiving are they, and where does that almost cut off happen where you actually don't gain any more yardage. And it was very interesting.
It was. I think there were surprises, weren't there?
There was.
There was a lot of surprises, and I think, definitely tune into that video because it would be. It's very interesting to see how those. And it's just funny, like the conditions. Like the Slazenger driver came with like a sticker on the front saying it was like 4 out of 5 for forgiveness, and it's like, how do you even skate? Like compared to what? To a ping? It's like a ping 5, and you're saying you're 4 out of 5 in forgiveness. Like, interesting. It's funny, but again, look, if you're getting into golf and you're just starting, it can be cheap. I remember when I first got into golf, I just went to the charity shop and I bought a bag, a full set of clubs, like Wilson, like cavity back irons, like Dunlop wedges and a driver for like nothing, for like 30 quid. Yeah. It was nothing. And the next day I went out and played golf for 30 quid and I was like, there you go.
And that is the thing. It
didn't have legs, the bag, but it was good. And
I think realistically, the top gear from the top brands is only going to start getting dearer and dearer and dearer. Absolutely. So if you've got gear that works, you have to buy. But I think that's why, again, the way people moan, because as golf fans, people that might listen to this podcast who are golf equipment fans, we kind of want the latest gear when it comes out. And when we see it's £579 for a ping driver, people get annoyed about it, but that's the way it is. Have you got any more closing comments?
One final question, because I said we'd speak about it at the start, but it's not too equipment related, but I know it'll be a
We've not spoke about
Monday topic more, but I just wanted to touch on it for Friday because it's relevant news. Is Tiger going to play in the Masters?
Well, first of all, he was back at TGL, wasn't he?
He was. Did you watch? Obviously, it was on at 1 a.m. for us, but did you? I watched the highlights this morning.
I watched them. I only saw about a dozen shots of Tiger. Is that right?
Apparently, only hit 15. That's including putts as well.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, he missed a tap in putt. I saw that.
Yeah,
hit an unbelievable stinger drive with 3 degrees launch angle, 170 odd miles an hour ball speed. He looked quite fit.
Stuck a 3-wood to 20 foot or something just off the green. So
aesthetically and athletically, he looks great.
I was scouring the internet for see if anyone got a little what's on the bag for us so we could go through and see if he's in the new stuff. Like, because even though I was, great to see Tiger back, I was like, what's he using? Has he got a QI4D? It looked like from the head covers, it still looked like QI10 stuff.
Yeah, that's what he was using last time.
So
I just think it's a weird one where I obviously want him to be at the Masters. I really do. I don't want him to be there and hobble around and not be able to play. I don't want him to be there and miss the cut by a mile. Obviously, would love him to win, of course. That would be the absolute fairy tale. Can't see it happening. But he must be, and I say must be in a strong word, he must be playing in it because it seems very strange for the last TGL game of the...
Yeah, he just pops up.
But then equally, on the flip side of that, Tiger Woods wants to win every event he plays in. We all know how much effort and energy the players put into the lead up to the Masters in terms of being competitive and recovering and everything right to make sure that they peak that week. Tiger might have been hitting balls on the range. He's not played any competitive golf other than that TGL. So is he even going to be in the right mindset?
Yeah.
Like, is he? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has now resigned to the fact of he wants to just be there to be there, and playing in the Masters means a lot to him whether he wins or makes the cut. But I just can't see that being Tiger Woods. It's like, think about Ronaldo now, Cristiano Ronaldo. I know he's playing in Saudi and stuff, but he absolutely wants to win. He wants to score every goal he can. He's so motivated that you can't imagine him just being happy just to be on the pitch, can you?
Absolutely. And it's tough as well. Like, I don't know if it showed it in the highlights, but I was watching some Twitter clips of him hitting, and he just looks in so much he would hit and back away from the tee and sort of walk off. He just looked in so much pain, walking off. It's not easy walking around Augusta, is it?
No.
It's hilly, and to be able to do that for 2 days, let alone 4 days, is a big ask. And I almost feel like that's the big obstacle, isn't it? It sounds like, he said in an interview, didn't he? He's been playing and he's going to play again tomorrow or something at his home course. But yeah, I'm not sure. It's good seeing him back though, because
great.
This kills me to say.
I know what you're going to say.
But
you don't get it quite.
I've not seen, I missed out on prime time. I was literally thinking about this in the shower this morning. I was thinking about Tiger Woods. I was thinking about, I can't believe I've never seen that 2019 comeback. Even that, because that's more, at least that's more modern. I've been grateful enough to see him. We went to the Open and I saw him live, so I've been grateful to at least see that. But yeah, it's I am gutted I've not been able to see that in. Because people are like, oh, Scotty, comparing to him, but
it's a longevity piece, isn't it? I think even I don't feel like I took it in enough, because you don't realise at the time, it just becomes almost the norm when he was so dominant and he was so good. Obviously people who were older maybe did, and I was relatively young at the time. I didn't quite soak it in for what he was doing to the game and how different he was and how he changed the sport to be more athletic. And obviously we can wax lyrical all day about Tiger Woods. We do this a lot. But the good thing is, which again I can't believe I'm going to say out loud, I don't feel like golf needs in the way I thought it did.
Yeah.
I remember thinking every major that he wasn't playing in, I felt like first he had an asterisk next to it, Tiger wasn't playing, so he didn't really win. And secondly, it was how am I going to get amped up with this major? And now it almost feels like the narrative of Tiger Woods maybe being back at the Masters is almost like a nice little cherry on top.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting it. I could have still enjoyed the cake, but the cherry on top's okay, yeah, it's a nice little cherry. If he turns out and says I'm not playing, I won't be that disheartened. It's still going to be a great event with Scotty, Xander Schauffele, Rory, Matt Fitzpatrick, Morikawa.
It's almost,
the list goes on.
It's
Cameron
exciting
Young.
Because Scotty's not as dominant. It almost feels a bit more open, where last year it almost felt oh, here we go. Who's going to stop Scotty? But this year it feels all right. Who's going in? Who's up for it? But
it is great. The big thing, I debate this all the time with Rick, and obviously you'll have heard it and been there, the Masters versus the Open, which is better, and it doesn't really matter which is better, does it? But the one thing the Masters does have over the Open for us in the UK is that nighttime viewing.
Oh,
It's so good.
I remember watching it for the first time and just being like, this is good. It's Aussies might relate to me a little bit, and I'm not comparing this neck and neck, but like test match cricket back home in Australia when it was on in the summer, to just like kind of put it on all day and you just like kind of go around your day, and you'd always come back and it was always on, and you would sit there and watch it, and then you go back, come back and watch it again. It's almost like that, but obviously this is so much more elevated in terms of how important of an event it is. But yeah, I mean, nothing beats it really at the moment. I can't believe even like non-golfers. It's funny, like people who, my old friends who I wouldn't even realize is into golf, you know, when Rory won it last year, is like putting Instagram stories up of Rory.
Yeah.
What the heck? I didn't even know you're into golf, you know? So it stops the whole almost sporting world. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Masters and the Ryder Cup, they really do bring just casual sports fans into golf. I'm excited. But thanks, Ben.
yeah, thanks, Guy. We better wrap up because we've been told by producer Harry.
How many minutes have we got left, Harry?
Not many.
So we got
Not
told
many.
before the podcast started that there was only a certain amount of storage on the hard drive, certain amount of minutes on the hard drive.
You've actually gone for 51 minutes.
Well, I thought you said there was 40 odd on the hard drive.
Yeah, it's been a bit weird.
Oh, so hopefully this has worked.
Yeah.
If it's not worked, people will never hear this. If it had worked. So we're in a time constraint, not because we could do this all day. I could do. How long could you do a podcast for, do you reckon? If we just had to talk now ongoing and people would listen to it, could you do 3 hours?
Yeah. We talk about stuff for 3 hours. It might get a bit weird, but we can talk about stuff for 3 hours.
Yeah, you've learned about the Big Ben.
Yeah. There's so many more topics in the world. We might get a bit off the course of like golf stuff.
But don't forget, this is the pro shop. So we start with a golf narrative and
yeah.
it just goes off. And then we start talking about politics.
Yeah.
And then we talk about your affinity to right-wing politics. That's not true.
That's not true.
And then we talk about Trump.
Yeah.
And
Very political, weirdly.
yeah,
It's about sport. Salah's leaving. Thank God.
Yeah, but
Oh,
well, yeah,
sorry.
that's not good, is it? That's upsetting.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
3
good.
hour special next week.
Yeah,
Comment
okay.
below if you want a 3 hour special.
With politics, sports,
We could play a load of
general
quizzes,
news,
load
quizzes.
of games.
Just like the TV, but a podcast.
We could go out for 9 holes.
That'd be great.
Oh, bring it
Just
on the road.
Mic'd up 9 holes.
That'll be good. Well,
Okay.
have a good weekend, guys.
Yep.
You know what? I feel good telling the people to have, like, good luck playing golf this week. I hope you go and win your Saturday comps. It's nice. Because I feel like I need that. I feel like if I was listening to that and someone said, good luck tomorrow, I'd be like, I'm going to my Saturday comp and I'm going to kill it.
Statistically, one person listening to this podcast will have a hole in one this week. They will.
Is that right?
Yeah, easily. Probably
Wow.
a few.
Please email in if you do get a hole in one.
Yeah, they will. Well, they might not email, but they will. And then
Well, email, please.
statistically, somebody will win the comp this week.
I hope so.
Somebody will shoot the best ever score.
Good man. Hey, shout out to James.
Somebody will get caught cheating.
Yep, true. Dropping the ball out there
Somebody
in the long grass.
somebody will buy a new driver this weekend, use it in a comp, and then realise they've bought the wrong driver. That statistically will happen.
And then they'll email in, say, I think I bought the wrong driver, please help, and we
Yeah.
will try to help.
Please do, Ben's asked several times there, do email us, podcast@rickshiels.com. If you're enjoying the hit podcast, these Friday Pro Shop spin-offs, rate us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you want. If you're on YouTube, like it. And we'll see you next week. I'll see you Tuesday, we'll then see you Friday.
I'll see you next Friday. You won't see me Tuesday, but I'll see the
Wow, I'll see you
people.
Tuesday.
I'm not on the Tuesday pod.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
You're in the Pro Shop.
I can be. If people want me there, I'll be there.
I'll let you close it then. You can have the final word.
Goodbye, guys. Happy golfing this weekend. See you later.